What's up, guys? James Carter TV here for my Week 8 picks and predictions for the 2015 NFL season. But before I begin that, let me really quick make a programming note. Alright, so here's the deal. Later on today, and I know this is late, but whatever. This is 2 days later than I would have liked, but I will upload my 2015 NBA predictions. I've had no time to do it, but I finally have time. That will be up today. And then the Q&A will be up on Saturday, and we'll just keep doing the Saturdays. This last 2 weeks has just been hectic with midterms up the asshole, but I'm finally free. And with that said, I'm going to be more consistent again. So anyway, let's get to the Week 8 predictions. Your boy is back. Last week, I went 11-3 when picking NFL games. I've been in a little bit of a rut this season. Your boy is back. Your boy is picking these games. And remember, I went with this new strategy. I'm being conservative. I didn't want to rock the boat too much with my predictions. I actually wanted to pick the New Orleans Saints to win last week, but I wanted to be conservative. And I actually wanted to pick the Raiders last week, but I wanted to be conservative. You know what? I'm just going to stick to my guns, because if I would have stuck to my guns last week, I would have went 13-1 last week. So my model is finally starting to work out. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to go with what's in my head and in my heart, and we'll see what that gets me this week. But I'm expecting big things this week, and this is a week where I take advantage. Because last week, 11 wins was nice, but a lot of people were respectable last week. Last week was not a too difficult week. I think this week is going to trip some people up, but I'm ahead of the curve. I know what's going to happen, and I know the games that you're not going to see that I see. So with that said, let's begin. Let's start with a Thursday night game, tonight game, between the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. People, you need to have your eyebrow raised for the Miami Dolphins. They're playing really well. They're really confident, and I believe there is a considerable probability that the Dolphins go to New England tonight and win. I'm not going to predict it. It'd be foolish of me to predict it. It's reckless and foolish, but keep that in the back of your mind. I'm going to pick the Patriots to win, but I think it's going to be close. I think the Dolphins are back. Only question will be, is it going to be too little, too late when it comes to the overall AFC wildcard picture, as the Jets and Steelers look to be separating themselves as the wildcard. So that's something to watch going forward, but it would not surprise me at all if the Dolphins go to New England and win. Next, we have the Detroit Lions at the Kansas City Chiefs. This game is actually being played in London, but I don't care. I'm still picking the Kansas City Chiefs. When I look at these two teams, I had to ask myself a question. Of these two teams, which is more likely to be a disaster 3-13 year this season? And I think it's the Detroit Lions. They won a couple weeks ago. I think they'll win 3 games this season, maybe 4, but I think they're just the more likely of these two to go 3-13 and to be worse than we expected them to be. So give me the Chiefs to win this one. Next, we have the San Diego Chargers at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, they're 1-6. All of their losses have been close. Not a loss, more than a deficit of 8 points, and I don't care. I think the Chargers are going to go to Baltimore. I think they're going to be able to throw the football effectively. First of all, Philip Rivers is leading the league in passing yards. Now he's going to be going against this Baltimore Ravens defense that cannot stop the pass to save their lives. I think this is going to be a shootout, but I think this is yet another loss for the Baltimore Ravens. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons underwhelmed last week. It wouldn't surprise me to see them underwhelmed this week. Tampa Bay has shown an ability to go on the road and beat a divisional rival, as they beat the New Orleans Saints in week 2 of this NFL season, so don't sleep on the Bucs here. But it'd just be too reckless and foolish for me to pick the Buccaneers, but there's a probability here. Next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears, and we have one of my first JCTV upset specials, as I have the Chicago Bears beating the Minnesota Vikings. Look, right now I'm projecting the Vikings to be a playoff team. I think they'll be 10-6. I think they'll be a playoff team. I have them being 9-7 coming into this year. But this is a divisional game, and this is on the road, and the Bears are coming off a bye week. And say what you will about the Bears, they are coached well, okay? John Fox is getting everything he can out of this Bears team. A team that beat the Oakland Raiders, a team that beat the Kansas City Chiefs, which is looking less and less like a considerable victory, but a victory nonetheless. They can sneak up on a team or two. So it would not surprise me at all to see the Bears to win this game. In fact, I have the Bears winning this game, because I really have faith in this Bears coaching staff, and I think they're gonna sneak a win their way to 6-10 or 7-9, and that's exactly what I thought would happen coming into this season. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. At first I wanted to give this sort of an upset chance, but I honestly I don't see it. The Cardinals, though, have shown an ability to go on the road and underwhelm. Okay, they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, to the Michael Vick / Landry Jones Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's very concerning. But they should win this game. You know, Cleveland, I think they're looking more and more like a 4-win team at best. Maybe not at best, but a 4-win team, and it looks like there's a lot of trouble in Cleveland, so I don't see them winning this game. Next, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Now, for those of you that have been watching me throughout the season, you know I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. I picked them to win almost each and every game, all of the games except for one, and that has not worked out for me. I'm currently, 2-4 picking Titan games right now? Yeah, I think I'm 2-4 picking Titans games right now, so I haven't done a very good job, especially when I pick them to win. But I'm picking them to win, and here's my theory. First of all, it's not bias, okay? Because I believe that after this game, they're going to lose to New Orleans, they're going to lose to Carolina, and they're going to lose to Jacksonville. 3 straight losses will follow this win. But I believe the Houston Texans are more of a disaster than the Tennessee Titans are. The Tennessee Titans are a bad football team. They can't finish games. The Houston Texans aren't in games. They're a disaster. How they've won 2 is beyond me. And with the Ryan Mallett sequence, and with Bill O'Brien and Rick Smith drama, I don't see how they just seem like a dumpster fire, crazy, stay away from them, nuclear attack, like, whoa, Houston Texans, yikes. And now Arian Foster tore his Achilles, and hey, he bashed God earlier this offseason. Now, I'm not a religious guy at all, but when you're coming out and bashing God and you tore your Achilles, man, that's on you. You keep that voodoo away from me. That's all I'm saying. Give me the Tennessee Titans to win this game. Next, we have the New York Giants taking on the New Orleans Saints. This is by far the game that I struggled with the most. But ultimately, I'm just going to go with the home team. I had the Saints winning 10 games coming into this season. And that's still possible, because if you look at the Saints roster or schedule, it's quite easy, but they need to win this one here. But the problem is, what happened 2 weeks ago when the Saints went to Philadelphia? They went to Philadelphia, right? What happened? They lost 39-17, and that's still in the back of my head. That was only 2.5 weeks ago. And while the New York Giants 2.5 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, they went to Buffalo and they beat a Tyrod Taylor Buffalo Bills football team, which is looking like an average football team now, but that's still an impressive victory nonetheless. So I wonder and I worry that the New Orleans Saints, and then they also lost that game against the Buccaneers. They've had some games where you're like, what happened? But with that said, I'm going to pick the Saints. They're the home team. Please don't prove me wrong. I'm sure they'll prove me wrong. Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the St. Louis Rams. The Rams, I'm still low on the St. Louis Rams. I'm sorry. I don't care that they're 3-3. They're going to be 8-8. Ooh, hoopla, who cares? Okay? But they'll win this game. They're hosting San Francisco. San Francisco is looking more and more like a disaster. And they should win this game in St. Louis. They should. All right, next we have the New York Jets at the Oakland Raiders. People want to pick the Raiders to win this game, and I get it. The Raiders are a fun team. They've been winning some games we didn't expect them to. But also remember this. they've lost a game that we didn't expect them to. Remember when they went to Chicago, and Chicago was the team that everyone said, oh, they suck, they suck, they suck, they suck. Well, they went to Chicago and they got beat. Why? Because Chicago just has a better team than they do. And speaking of teams that have a better team than they do, here come the New York Jets, who are better offensively, who are better defensively, and it's not even close. I mean, offense, maybe it's close, but defensively, hell no. You think the Oakland Raiders defense has anything on the New York Jets defense? And you're telling me Darrelle Revis is going to shut down Amari Cooper? Raider fans, hey, you're going to be 7-9 this year. That's great. You're not going to win this football game. Give me the Jets. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys. Seahawks can get another W as they go up against Matt Castle. But if the Seahawks lose this one, this is a pen. Let's imagine this is a knife or a sword. I'm sticking it in them. I'm sticking the fork in them. They're done. They're finished. I think they'll win it. If they don't, though, here we go. All right? Because, look, here's the deal. In the NFC, I think in terms of wild cards, either the loser of the NFC South between the Panthers and the Falcons will get a wild card, and then you have the Minnesota Vikings, or a slight probability. Right now, I guess the best candidate is the St. Louis Rams, who I don't trust. You can trust them, I don't. So really, to me, it's the loser of the NFC South. The Saints could get back into it, though. Keep an eye out on them as well. The Saints or the Vikings. I mean, the Rams, I forget about the Rams. So those are the teams. And if the Seattle wants to keep up, they need to win this football game. Next, we have the Green Bay Packers at the Denver Broncos. Here comes yet another upset special for me. I get it. We all don't like how the Broncos are winning games, but they're winning games. Their defense, I think, is the best defense in the NFL, if not the second. I'd give it an edge over the Jets just because this defense forces more turnovers and literally scores points, occasionally more points than their quarterback does. So because of that, I like their defense over the New York Jets, although the Jets defense is a great defense. It's more of a stop-you defense. The Broncos is a stop you and take the ball away from your ass and score defense. So I like the Broncos defense to be the best defense in the NFL. But anyway, Aaron Rodgers. Look, the Packers are my Super Bowl pick, and I'm standing by that, Packer fans. So don't act like I hate your team. I don't hate your team. Are you going 16-0 this season? Come on, you're not. You're not going 16-0 this season. You're not going 15-1 this season. 14-2. Well, okay, now we're having a discussion, but you're going to lose games. And this is, I think, the toughest game on your schedule. As you go to Denver. Next week you go to Carolina. I think you'll beat them, but I think you lose to Denver this week just because it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think Randall Cobb and James Jones will be able to get open against this Broncos secondary. And I think the Broncos will do just enough to win this game. I'm sorry. I still have the Packers winning the Super Bowl. Remember, this is my Super Bowl preview. I had the Broncos versus the Packers. I had the Packers winning. I think the Broncos win this one. I think the Packers win in February when it counts. And next we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Carolina Panthers. The Colts continue to lead the worst division in NFL history. After this week, the Colts will be 3-5, and they will be leading their division. And that is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. And you think that's bad? I only see them winning 3 more games, maybe 4 more games the whole season, as they go up once again in another round against AFC South, and they face the Bucs. And I'm not even sure they're going to completely shred through the AFC South. I think they could lose at Jacksonville. I think they could lose that one. They go to Pittsburgh. They face the Denver Broncos. There's a lot of tough games on the schedule for the Colts. And last week's game against the Saints should worry you if you're an Indianapolis Colts fan. So I'm picking the Panthers. All right, so there you go. My Week 8 picks and predictions. Comment yours down below. And if you're part of the James Carter TV Picks Challenge, look out because I'm starting to rise up the rankings. James Carter TV's mojo is back. Until next time, James Carter TV, I'm out. Peace.